It's the Open Bedroom Doors Show.
I'm Angela Skirtu, and I open bedroom doors. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, your neighborhood sex therapist, turning couples into best friends and lovers, one laugh at a time. But let's be honest, it isn't always easy. Did you know that 73% of couples don't talk about sex? And yes, it's causing problems. I want you to have great sex, and I want you to be able to actually talk about it. So tune in for real talk, practical tools, and honest conversations for real relationships. Let's open that bedroom door, shall we? Welcome to Sex Position segment. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, and on this segment, I like to judge things in the media or culture. Today, I am judging the kitchen because why not? I have a studio for it, and I have a dinner with a sex therapist event coming up, which is all about aphrodisiac menus. I hope you can come. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is how to flirt with your partner when they are holding a knife. Because here's the thing. So a lot of what people want to do is come up behind somebody and like cuddle them and kiss them. But here's the deal. Like, if you've got a shaky or twitchy partner and they're cutting and you come up behind them, then guess what? They might like stab you. Like, ah! I know, I actually have a friend who almost stabbed her husband unintentionally. She just has a very tricky nervous system. So if you are cutting stuff in the kitchen and you are trying to be a little flirty with your partner, here is what you do. I want you to imagine somebody is here and you're the person trying to flirt. Say, hey, honey, then go behind them. So when people are triggered or like heavily triggered, you don't want to surprise them without giving them a chance to like know what's going on. And so the action of like one, being in their visual range, and two, saying something, hey, honey, and then going behind them to be a little flirty or touchy is a way better way than just coming up behind them when they have a knife. Because again, like if you have a twitchy partner, they are gonna We are always looking for sponsors. So if you would like to be a sponsor for the show, please visit www.openbedroomdoors.com and submit a contact form. We'll even let you pick the position. What if date night didn't feel like just another night, but an experience you'd actually remember? Welcome to Dinner with a Sex Therapist, where real conversations, real connection, and a little bit of spice come together in one unforgettable night. I'm Angela Skirtu, sex and relationship therapist, and I create experiences that help couples go from roommates to lovers again. This isn't awkward, this isn't clinical, and no one's putting you on the spot. Instead, you'll laugh, learn, and maybe even blush a little as we explore connection, desire, and what it actually takes to keep passion alive long term. From interactive moments to anonymous Q&A to a few playful surprises along the way, this is education that feels like entertainment. And here's the best part. I don't just host these events. I can bring Dinner with a Sex Therapist to your venue, your audience, or your next big events. So whether you're planning a date night experience, a retreat, or something totally unique, let's make it unforgettable. Because great relationships don't just happen, they're created. And I open bedroom doors. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, licensed marriage therapist and certified sex therapist. And today we have with us Monica Tanner. Monica, will you tell them all about you?
Yeah, I mean, I am just a girl. I've been married to the man of my dreams for 23 years. We have 4 children together, the oldest of which is married. 2 have left home, 2 are still here. So we are halfway through that empty nesting process, just trying to enjoy every moment. I am a certified relational life practitioner, as well as certified in sex therapy, although I'm not a therapist. So don't let that confuse you. I am a coach.
Well, let's get right into it with Monica. So you want to talk today about how opposites attract. Is that correct? Is it true that opposites attract?
I think so. I mean, my mentor is Terry Real. He's the creator of relational life therapy, and he talks about the mysticism of marriage. So this goes to a myth too, like the myth that if you marry the right person, they'll never hurt you. And I
Oh,
think that's so
that's bullshit.
funny. Exactly. Because there's plenty of people out there that probably won't trigger you and right where it hurts, but those people aren't attractive to you. It's the people that are uniquely designed to hurt you, to poke you right where it hurts, right? Or another way of thinking about it is we marry our unfinished business. Typically somebody different than us, right? So yeah, he calls that the mysticism of marriage, and I love when he talks about it because I'm like, dang, I have found that to be true over and over and over again, as much as I try to disprove it.
Well, and I think it's totally fine. I love my husband for being kind of different from me. Actually, we're very different, but there's a lot of I don't know, for us that there's a cultivating of connection and working through those differences that create some of our erotic intimacy. So I'm curious what you're seeing on your side for like how the opposite situation attracts for you.
Yeah. For me, it was a process, right? I think there was a lot of back and forth. I mean, my husband and I are so opposite from each other in like literally every way. We grew up in different parts of the country, in different religions, in different family structures, very different money situations, right? And so, like, most things we're going to see it differently. And so I think partners get really locked into this idea of they must see it my way, or if they would just
Mm-hmm.
do it this way, it would be so much easier, right? And so we get in like I like an objectivity battle, right? And so
Mm.
especially for my husband and I, for a long time, it was just like, why can't you just do it my way, like the right way?
So me and my husband are both type A plus personalities, and that essentially means that we had different folding styles for towels that we had to have a conversation about. And I have to say, one thing I've learned to love is to figure out what's underneath his why. Like, why does he do it this way or that way? So, and even personally, when I have gone and like, I need him to do it my way, of course, it's a big fight and it doesn't end up working out very well, right? But if I go in thinking, what's underneath why he does this? I'm curious what his, like, I don't know, like all of his like detailed reasons for how he's come to be who he is. I find it like it usually is very intriguing. I learn a crazy amount. I even sometimes develop a little respect for it's like, oh, that's why he's putting that sanitary stuff there. Okay. I respect
Right.
you.
You just described like literally the process of this is like, this is how
Yeah.
I guide couples through this because,
All right. Well, tell me about it.
well, let's take an example of like money, for instance, right? Like early in our marriage, like we were so different when it comes to money. Our experiences growing up were very different. I was a spender and he was a saver. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and I say was, we still are. I'm the spender. I'm like, take the trip, carpe diem, like let's have some fun. You're not going to die with your money. Let's just use it, right? And he is like very responsible, save for the future, like, you know, rainy day fund, but also investing for our retirement, like all of this, right? We have these very different money ideas. And so early in our marriage, I remember we went out with another couple and we spent a lot on dinner, like much more than my husband was comfortable with. But he wasn't going to make a big deal out of it, right? We went to dinner, and then this couple that we were with, they wanted to go get frozen yogurt, and that was like kind of the straw that broke my husband's back.
I draw the line at yogurt.
He's like, we are not spending any more money tonight on food, right? And I was like, what? Why are you trying to stomp all the fun out of this? Like, I took it so personally. I'm like, you don't even love me. Like, why are you trying to make this boring and unfun? And like, you're embarrassing me in front of our friends, right? And so I didn't have the understanding necessary until later when I really started to get curious about his experience and learning. And what I started to realize was that it wasn't personal at all. It's just he has a very different money mindset. And where it gets good, and you know, I learned about his history and how he grew up and how he viewed money. And so it took a lot of like the pressure off of it. I was like, oh yes, I now have a lot more respect for how you see the world and how you got to be who you are. But even more so after more time had passed and we had done more things together, what I now realize about our differences when it comes to spending money is my strength of like spending money on the experience because like you're not going to die with it. We took trips that were really, really fun. We spent more than maybe he was comfortable with, but we like got the itch for travel and like how fun that was, and having those experiences were really important to us. And because of his strength in saving, now when we go on our vacations now are much more frequent and much more elaborate because he's done such a good job in saving in areas like we didn't need uh, frozen yogurt after we had already spent a lot of money on dinner, right? So my strength gave us like this appreciation for travel, and his strength gave us the ability now to travel in a really cool way. And a lot of times we talk about like we do things the Tanner way, and people look at us and like roll their eyes, and it's a big joke. It's really funny, but like we'll go to like Thailand or places like really far away where you're traveling for a long period of time, and we will literally pack peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and like bananas from home in our bag. And like the whole
But
time
Thailand's really cheap for food.
right. Well, okay. So Paris, whatever. Right. But the whole time we're getting there, we've done it so cheaply. But then when we get there, we get to eat like kings. We get to spend whatever we want because we've saved money not eating expensive airport food. That's not good for you anyways, right? And so we talk about it like it's the Tanner way. Like we've created our way, and nobody else has to like it or understand it. Or, I mean, other people do it now too. It's really funny, right? Like we'll travel with our friends and like, they're like, oh, we packed you sandwiches. I'm like, oh, you did? Interesting. Fun, right? So, but like, that's our way. Like we've taken the best of what I value and the best of what he values, and we've collaborated and co-created this way of like, living out our goals and dreams in a way that's really cool, and it incorporates the best of me and the best of him.
So what other opposites have you either found in your relationship, or have some of your couples found that have helped them kind of come together and find a little erotic excitement?
Yeah. I love thinking about, because we go out to eat quite often now. But we've definitely collaborated on this. I tell this story. It's really funny because he doesn't like, I love sushi and like the experience of going out to eat and having a nice like experience, right? And he does not like seafood, and he doesn't like spending a lot of money on food. And they just opened up this restaurant right down the street from my house. It's called Sushi and Ramen. It's perfect.
Oh, because ramen's cheap.
Yeah. Who would have thought to put those two things together? I don't know, but it's perfect for us.
Me and my husband have a Vietnamese and American place. I like the Vietnamese. He likes the American, but he does say he's eating a Vietnamese burrito, which is not correct. It's just a burrito.
I love it. We have so many options and resources now, right?
Like we really do.
Everybody can have exactly what they want. There's no reason why we can't. So we'll go out to eat and we'll see all these couples, and they're not talking to each other. They're on their phones, or they're distracted with some. They're watching the game. And like, I love talking to my husband. Like, I think it's probably like on the other end of like, it's killing me right now. I have another appointment after this one, and I'm like, he just got home from work and I can't talk to him for another hour. I'm like, I just want to hear about his day. I love talking to my husband, right? So, but I always say you're never going to run out of things to talk about if you understand that your partner is different. They have a different reality than you do. I call it subjective reality, right? So I'm so curious always about how my husband experiences the world. So we have different, like pretty different religious views. We've already talked about money views. Sex, we think about sex a lot differently. Like, he thinks some things are fine and I'm like, oh my gosh, and vice versa. I do very public front facing things like this all the time. He like has done one podcast interview with me and he's like, I'm never doing that again. Like literally the worst experience of my life. Right.
He's a more private person.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he loves me, but he probably hates that I tell stories about him all day long on the internet. But like, we love and respect each other and we're curious about each other, right? Like the things that I want to do, he does not desire to do. And the things that he wants to do, I do not desire to do. However, I want to know everything about it. So like the example I would give is like, he wants to go bungee jumping and like off a bridge in some crazy country. or he wants to go skydiving. He wants to go scuba diving. All those three things, I'm like, no, I will never, ever, ever do those things. However, when he does them, I want to know all about it. I want to know what he felt. I want to know the experience. I want to know what he saw. I want to know everything about those experiences.
There's some couples who like, they're so opposite. They feel like they don't have anything they share or like. And so I'm curious how you help couples like that find a way, an avenue to each other.
Yeah. I mean, I would say find things that that neither of you are familiar with, right? Like walking is such a like a simple, it's something that my husband and I love to do together is just walking. Like who doesn't like to walk, right? Like or a
I
shared
know some
show.
people.
Do you? Okay.
Yes,
Well,
there's
I
people who hate walking.
I stand corrected. I don't know. But like a show that maybe you're both into, like a topic that you both are interested in, like watch a show together and then talk about it over dinner or, um, try something new. I did an interview earlier today that's going on my podcast soon, and it's about role play dates. And it's literally my friend writes these dates for people. And it's a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of people to get into character, but like it's something new that you can do together that brings out that kind of erotic. It's like tuning into that erotic energy, but you don't have to be yourself. You get to be in character. So how cool is that? So
What
you
kind
can,
of role play dates? I want to know.
oh, well, okay. I've only done one, but
I still want to know.
I plan to do a lot more, but this was so fun. It's called Test Drive. And so my character was just like a stay-at-home wife whose car broke down and the mechanic comes to fix the car. And then we have this, you know, hot,
He's gonna
encounter.
check under your hood.
Exactly. All of that,
By
right?
hood,
And
I
it was
mean your vagina.
exactly, exactly. And that's how it ended up. Like it was so fun. But we both got into character. Like he read his script and I read my script and I got dressed and he had no idea. He went outside and like, you know, came to the door like a mechanic would. And I answered the door and like in complete character, totally wearing like, he didn't know. And we had so much fun. We laughed. I mean, we kind of stepped in and out of character as the kids kind of came home and, had to grab something and, we got distracted, but we had so much fun.
That's interesting, this role player thing idea, because I've never heard somebody who actually writes a script for somebody. So that's like a really intriguing idea.
But it's something that you can do together. Like it doesn't require like any special interests or anything like that. So you don't have to have a lot in common. You both have to just be willing to like try this new thing.
I would say too, you mentioned something that I think would help couples with that is that you don't have to stay in character the whole time. You can kind of move in and out. You can giggle a little bit. You don't have I think an important piece to doing that is to like just have fun with it and play and to not be too concerned about doing it perfectly, because like, what's that?
I was going to say, how else would you describe sex? Like you're describing sex.
Yeah, well, exactly. Sex, you got to have fun. You stay curious. You don't want it to be perfect. And so if you can do a role play like that, then yeah, you're doing a sexual experience like that too, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like I'm going to prescribe it to couples. I'm going to be like, join this thing. So my friend's thing, you get the first date is free and you get to try it for 21 days before you're obligated in any way, shape or form. And so I'm going to be like, listen, you're doing a role play date this weekend.
I love it. Well, so I've done role play, but I tend to be a little more goofy in my way of doing the role play thing. And so I've definitely encouraged couples to do role play to some degree, but I just haven't gone as far as to give them an actual script. So it just sounds like such a fun time.
Probably a great resource for your clients as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So then if you were, all right, so if you're trying to get couples to figure out how to like, all right, how do they start this process of understanding and like getting each other in a new way? Because like I'm thinking of couples that I have that like fight and I have a lot of volatility at times. I try, I do my best to get the best friends, but they don't always end up being best friends. Sometimes
Those
they're
are
pretty volatile.
not the ones that typically come see us.
Well, it's a mix, right? So for those couples who are kind of in that fighting space, I'm curious, what advice would you give them for moving from this fighting space to like this more exploratory, curious space you're describing.
Well, that is the exact prescription. I mean, it depends on what they're fighting about, but most of the time I find that couples are fighting, trying to match up their realities.
Okay.
And so they're fighting over details. They're fighting over it happened this way. No, it happened this way. You always do this. No, you always do this. They're trying to get their realities to match up. And the reality is that they're never going to match up. There's two separate realities in any relationship. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about a romantic relationship or a familiar relationship. You're always going to have two separate realities because we're all so different and we all experience things through our own lens. And so typically when a couple is fighting, it's because they're not willing to allow for two different realities. And so how I usually get them out of that is I teach them to be curious. And the resistance I often get is, but I don't agree, right? Like I don't want them to think that I agree with them or that their way is correct or whatever. And I'm understanding does not equal agreement. There can be two things true at the same time. Like I understand your experience and how you might have thought that or felt that way. And I see it very differently, right? Like you don't have to give up your position to understand more about your partner's position. And so it's a lot about reframing things into your partner can be right and you can be right.
I always tell the same story about this, and then we'll end for a bit. But like, I had this couple that was in the office, and the guy says to me, he's like, "Do you see this wall, Angela? If I were to tell her this wall was blue, she would fight me to the death to tell me that it was green. And I'm telling you, it's a blue wall." I remember telling him, I was like, "It's not your job to convince her that it's a blue wall. It's your job to understand how in the world does she see it as green."
Yes, that's exactly it.
And I think it'll be the challenge to the end of time for all our couples, but that's why we exist. So Monica, so if there's anyone else who wants to find you and learn more about you, why don't you tell them where they can find you, what your website is, your book, so they can get to know more about you and work with you.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. You can learn all about me, my podcast, my book, all of the things and how to work with me at my website, monicatanner.com.
What if your relationship didn't just get better? What if it felt alive again? Welcome to the Love Lab, a 4-month immersive experience designed for couples who are ready to stop talking about change and start living it. This isn't traditional therapy. This is where mind, body, and heart come together. We kick things off with a powerful weekend retreat where you reconnect, reset, and remember why you chose each other in the first place. Then, each month, you step into real-life experiences, intentional date nights, guided coaching, and personalized support. So you're not just learning, you're doing. You'll laugh, you'll stretch, you might even surprise yourselves, and along the way, you'll build something stronger. A relationship that feels more connected, more playful, more you. This is for couples who are best friends, but know there's another level waiting. So if you're ready to prioritize your relationship, not someday, but now, step inside the Love Lab. Let's see what's possible when you don't just open the door, you walk all the way through it. Welcome to the Happy Endings segment with Very Bonds and Consent Cub. In this part of the show, we're sharing real questions I answered live from a bed at my Dinner with a Sex Therapist event on Valentine's Day. It was an unforgettable night of honest conversations, laughter, and practical sex therapy wisdom. Did you miss it? Don't worry. You can join me for the next one on February 13th, 2027. Visit openbedroomdoors.com and look up Dinner with a Sex Therapist to experience it for yourself. Let's get to that happy ending, shall we? All right, what is the best sex position? I mean, I don't know. Whatever one feels good for you. Okay, so you guys don't know this, but if you ever decide to watch my Open Bedroom Door show, I start every episode with the sex positions. And basically, it's where I judge media and culture. Or I actually show a real position. So I did a whole segment on a bed, and I showed sex positions for knee pain, sex positions for back pain. Then we have a kitchen back here, so I got to do sex positions in the kitchen. So I just keep making it bigger and better every time. And right now we're working on a hot tub sponsor, so I cannot wait to potentially do sex positions in a hot tub. And I really want to do it in a closet too. These are just my ideas for the future of the show. Thank you for joining us as always. If you have any questions, please submit a contact form at www.openbedroomdoors.com, or you can submit a comment below and we'll answer your questions right here on the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Real talk for real relationships. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend who needs a little more real talk in their life. Got a burning question about sex, love, or relationships? Check out openbedroomdoors.com and submit a contact form. Your question might just be featured in the future Happy Ending segment. Until next time, keep it honest, keep it sexy, and most of all, keep those bedroom doors open. Good night, and have